Hi, today we're going to showcase Codemancy. This is a fast code prototyping solution, and you can find it at codemancy.io. So let's take a challenge. We're going to create a fully working custom CRUD application in less than 5 minutes. We're going to use Java, Spring Boot, MySQL, Docker containers, OAuth2 for authentication, and Angular for the front end. So for this purpose, we have created two folders, the front end and the back end. Both of them are empty right now. And we're going to go to Codemancy.io. We're going to start and we're going to set our stopwatch. So we're going to choose the Spring MySQL first. This is a template that we're going to populate with all the information we need for our CRUD application. And as a theme, we're going to choose CMS or blog. So we're going to call it my blog. I'm going to say the package is IO Codemancy. And the description is Bob Spring blog. And the author is Bob. We're happy with that. So we're going to add a user first because we want authentication. You'll notice that the user is a special kind of entity. It has most of the fields fixed because we actually require them for our authentication. We're going to add another entity which is called the article, which is a CMS article. And it also has an ID because it's MySQL and they like that. We're going to add a title, which is also the displayed field, which means this is the field which is going to be displayed if we have a list of articles. We have a content. We have a publish date or published. And we have an author, which is a foreign key in relational database lingo. It's called author. The type is user. And I think we're good with this. So we're going to verify and download. The platform tells us to wait for it. And while we're waiting, we're going to do something else. We're going to save the domain metadata. And we're going to put it in our demo folder. We save this because our front end is basically going to use the same metadata. So let's save this one here, unarchive it, and now go back and choose Angular for our front end. My CMS, and we're happy with the rest. For the domain, we're not going to do the whole definition again. We're just going to upload domain JSON. We can see our user and our article. And we're going to do verify and download for this one as well. While we're doing this, we can start a shell here and do docker compose up build. We're doing build because for the first time the container with the application needs to do nvn clean install. Our Docker is not up. Let's start it. While we're starting it, let's download this one as well. And extract it. And start a shell here also. And do an npm install, which is node for install all dependencies. So just a second while the Docker is starting up. Actually, at this point we can stop the stopwatch because all the code is here. So right now we're just waiting to make it run. And while Docker is starting up, I'm going to show you a little bit what the structure is. So I'm going to open this in VS Code, and you can see that we have the domain with article TS, user TS, and page TS, where we have the pageable interface um, from Spring. And we have services for article authentication and user, and we have components for uh, article login, navigation, and user. You can see that the CRUD components contain two items, the actual list and the editor. So let's see if Docker is up. It's not up yet. And let's then go to the backend and open this one as well. So this one contains application YAML that you can edit when you do your own CRUD application. You have your migration, which is a FlyWay migration with the initial tables. Then you have the Java. This is the package that we chose, IO Codemancy. And we have the main class, the Spring Boot application. We have the security configuration with JVT. We have the domain with article and user generated, and we have the controllers for both of them. So our Docker is up, so we can now do Docker compose up build. Meanwhile, the frontend has finished building, so we just need the backend to be up and running so we can show something. But while we're doing that, I'm going to have another utility come up, and that's the fact that at the beginning you don't have any users in the database, so we're going to have to add one. And since the password is bcrypt, we are going to need to encode one or encrypt one. So we're going to do bcrypt. Let's see. This one's my favorite. So it's going to be password bcrypted, and this is our encrypted password. So a couple of minutes later, we have the container up for the Spring application and also the front-end application running. And in the database, we have Bob with the password that we have generated. So without further ado, let's go to localhost 4200, and we have your CMS. You can log in with Bob and password login. And you can see the two CRUDs in user. We already have one, and we can add another one. Let's say, for example, we have Patty in the password, strong password. Role is admin, status is active. Save it. And then we have Patty, and we can check that it's also saved in the database. So this has been the demo for Codemancy IO. Thank you for your time and have fun using it.